Okay, guys, so welcome to the stream today. I'm really excited to have you guys. Romina, you say you're excited. I am too, actually. Okay, so today we will be working with actual data. So if you check the stream chat, I posted a link, okay, which I'm going to do again because I'm not sure that if you just joined, I'm not sure that you'll be able to see it, but link for data, and there it is. All right, so please go to this link. You will find 5 data files and go ahead and download them. Download them because these are the data files that will mainly focus on for now in order to learn all the skills that we'll be learning in the next few sessions. So please focus on these data for now, and of course I'm going to assign some projects and all that, which will require you to use other data sets. Okay, and you know what, if you just came in, just say hi in the chat like Romina did, and I think Shen is here as well, and if there's anyone else, please say hi in the chat. Okay, so today we'll actually continue from where we left off last time. What the last thing that we did was to create an RStudio project, and this is where I'm going to start again today. So if you have already downloaded the RStudio, if you have already created the RStudio project, it's perfectly fine. You don't have to do it again. But I am just going to do it one more time so that you guys can actually see once again how to do it. Yes, Romina, so I am actually going to talk about it right now. You're asking if it's okay to put the data in the folder that we made. I am actually going to talk about it. So let me go ahead and create the RStudio project once again. So as you can see, data science with R, I'm going to delete it, okay, just because I want to do it again. First, created a folder on our computer like this, okay, and we named it, and we said that this folder was going to contain everything that we're going to learn in this course. So data science with R, okay. Now inside this folder, we said that we're going to create the root folder for everything that we're going to do. Wonderful. All right, so I'm going to do it. So this right here is going to be flight analysis. All right, and this is where we're going to do everything. So in order to actually create oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. So I think I was, oh, too bad, too bad. I think, can you hear me now? Can you please tell me in the chat whether you can hear me or not? Okay, now it's back. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, cool. So we just created an RStudio project. Basically, we started by creating the folder, on our computer. That's the first thing that we did. Okay, and the folder that we wanted, was flight analysis. Okay, and so after creating it, we went to RStudio. Okay, and what we did was basically, where am I? Okay, was to go to create a project, right? Existing directory, and then we looked for that folder that we created for our analysis. We selected it, and then we we clicked on create project. Okay, and one thing that changed inside our empty folder was that this new file here was added. And this is a file which has that same blue icon that I clicked on in RStudio. We can see it here, and the type of the file, as you can see, is our project, right? So this is a very important folder because it tells us that this folder where it is, this directory where it is, flight analysis, is the root directory, the main home for the project we're going to work on. Okay. Now, everything that I'm going to do now is good practice, and I really encourage you to do the same. So we're going to create a bunch of subfolders because when you create a new project, it is very good to be well organized. you know. So you put your data somewhere, you put your visualization in other places, you put your reports in another folder, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important that we, be organized, that we are organized, in what we do. So the first subfolder that I'm going to create is a folder that I'm going to call data. This is where all my data is going to reside, basically. Okay, so it's very important to have this. Okay, now at some point we're going to learn some data visualization. We're going to learn how to visualize data, right? So maybe we should also create a subfolder for visualizations, right? And oh, okay, I actually forgot to switch my screen. Yeah, I'm actually testing something new today, but it seems that yeah, I guess I need to get used to it. So I just created this empty folder here called data, and the second subfolder that I'm creating inside flights analysis is visualization. Okay, like this. All right. Okay. Now, the third subfolder that I want to create in my project, I'm going to teach you how to write some reports, okay? And this is one of the greatest things in R, the ability to write reports. If you have a little bit of knowledge in R, you might have heard of R Markdown and things like that. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to teach you that when the time comes. So let me go ahead and create this, and I'm going to call it reporting or reports or whatever you feel is okay for you. Okay, now I think these three folders are okay for now, and as we move on in our project, if we feel like we need to add more, we will definitely add more. Now inside the data subfolder, I want to create some other subdirectory there, and this is what I like doing personally, so I like to have a subfolder inside data called raw. So whatever data I pull from the internet, or if you work in a company, whatever data you pull from the database, your company's database, or maybe you're a researcher, and your colleague, your colleague who does the research with you gives you a data set, and it is raw. Of course, you're going to do some manipulation on the data, but it's a very good practice to always keep the data as raw as it is, and if you make any manipulation on it, you just create another file where you have manipulated the data. So always make sure you keep the raw data as it is and don't change it on the same file. You can if you want to, but it's a really good practice not to, because you really want to know where you came from and where you got to. It's really important. So I have a folder for raw, and of course, all the raw data that I transform, I am going to save it in a new file that I will call transformed, or personally, I like to call it prepped. Prepped, which is the short form of prepared, So you prepped the data, you prepared the data, or, for analysis, for visualization, for all kinds of things, okay? That's how I like to do it. If you have a better name for you, it's perfectly fine. You can do that. Okay, so just in a few seconds, let's use a few seconds to do a quick review of the structure of our project. So number one, this is the home for our project. How do I know this? I know this because of this file here. This file called flights analysis. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, now the way I decided to structure my project was I have a folder for data. That's where all my data is going to reside. And if I click on it, I can see that I have two subdirectories in it. I have raw, where I'll put all my raw data. By the way, the data files that you just downloaded, please go ahead and put them in the raw subfolder, because this is how you got them from me, okay? So that's where they should go. Also, I'm trying to look at the number of people connected. I'm going to post the link again so that if anyone is coming, the person will be able to see, this data link. Okay, so that if someone, comes, that person will be able to see it right away. Okay, so we've got raw, we've got prepped, okay, and the second folder is reporting. The last folder is visualizations. Okay, all right, so that's how I go about it. Now, I usually work on pretty big projects, and usually I create my own functions, for working, and I don't have to do it always. It's only when I feel that it is necessary. Sometimes I create another project that I call R, and that R project is where all my functions reside. But we're going to do it at some time in the future. We are not looking at functions right now. We're not going to create them right now, but in the future. Okay, now let's now open our project. Of course, we're going to open our project from RStudio. Okay, and since we're going to open it from RStudio, you can go ahead and click on the RStudio link on your computer, like here. You can just click on it and it's going to open RStudio. And if you do that, fine, you will be in a place where, okay, let me just show you how it is. Close project. Okay, so you should actually have something like this at this point, right? So project none, because you're not inside your project. So what you want to do is to open up your project, and to do that you can click on project none right here. And because we created the project not too long ago, it's going to show up on this list. You can click on it, and when you do, it's just going to open up RStudio for you inside the project. Okay, and that's where you want to do your work. So if you are working on a specific project, you can do that. For example, you can see that I have worked on a few other projects. So if I want to switch to another project, I can just click on it here, and it will take me to all the work that I did in that other project. Okay, so it's actually pretty neat. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do, since we're going to write code, it's a very good idea to, create a script. Remember last time we talked about the difference between our scripts and the console, and we said that the console is really for interactive work. Input, output, input, output. You ask the computer for something, the computer gives you the result, and so on and so forth. But if I have a bunch of code to write, I don't want to just keep, entering a line of code, pressing enter, entering another line of code, pressing enter in the console. That's not how we do things. It's better to create a script where you can write all your code as text and then selectively execute your code using Control Enter if you're on Windows, or Command Enter if you are on a Mac. Okay, so let's create a script. I showed you two ways to create a new script in R when you're inside RStudio. So you can do File, New File, and then R script. You can do that. And this is actually the shortcut, Control-Shift-N. If you're on a Mac, I believe it's going to be Command-Shift-N instead. So you can do that and then create your new script. Or you can just click on this icon here, on the top left corner, and then click on R script, and that's what I'm going to do. And right now you should have an empty R script open up for you, which is pretty neat. Okay, so next up, let's go ahead and save that file. Okay, we haven't done anything on it, that's fine, but we're going to still come back to it every time. So it's a good idea to go ahead and save this file right away. So let me go ahead and save the script. Oh, sorry, not here. You can go to File and Save. Okay, or you can just click on this floppy disk here, and this will allow you to save the current script. All right, so I am going to save it as and again, whatever name you feel is okay for you. I am just going to call it analysis, or let me just call it flights_analysis, just like the name of our project. underscore script. Okay, so this is the code, the script that will analyze all the flights. All right, and then you can press enter, you can click on OK. Okay, and you know what? I'm actually a bad teacher because I asked you to put all the 5 data sets in raw, and I haven't done it yet. So I am going to go ahead and do it. And if you just joined us, that's perfectly fine because you'll see me do it right now. When you download the data that I linked, to you in the chat, all right, this is pretty much the structure for a project. You have a folder called data, then 2 subfolders, prepped and raw. Okay, and inside raw, this is where the data should be placed. Okay, so I believe that Shen and Romina have already done it. Okay, so this is where our data is going to be. All right. Okay, so now that everything is set up, it is time to get coding. All right, so there's actually something very important that I did not do. All right, so in the meantime, for those of you, okay, we just went up to 9 right now. Now, please, if you are in the chat, would you please post the link once again? That link for the data. In the meantime, I'm going to set up a link that I'm going to send to you so that you can actually check my code live. Remember, I told you last time that I was going to send you a link, and everything that I type is going to show up on that link live. So please, in the meantime, go ahead and please help me post the link to the data in the chat, and then I will set up that link that I'm going to put in the chat as well. While you do that, let me do this. And for those who just came, this is the setup of the project. So please, inside the project, just create these files here and you should be fine. Is everyone back now? Okay, I think we were disconnected for a few seconds. Is everything working now? Are you back online, guys? Sure, I hope so. All right, let me check. Okay, all right. So Kinley is back. Romina is back. Okay. All right, Shen, I hope you're back with us too. Hopefully everything is going well. Okay, so I was saying that packages are essentially like toolboxes, and every tool in a toolbox has a specific purpose, right? So depending on the kind of work you want to do, there's a specific toolbox that goes for you. For example, if you want to cook, there's I know it's not really right to call it a toolbox, but there could be a toolbox for you, that has pots, that has forks and knives and stuff like that. If you want to repair your car, there's a specific type of toolbox that you need for it, and so on and so forth. So toolboxes, again, are sets of functions that people have developed, and they have made these functions available to the entire world for free. Okay, so number one, we are going to go ahead and install some very interesting packages for the kind of work that we're trying to do here. All right, now in order to install a package, this is the function that we'll need to use. It's install dot, everything is lowercase. Okay, and let me increase the font size a little bit. Install dot packages, like this. Install dot packages. Everything is lowercase. And make sure that what you write is correct, or else you're going to get some sort of error. Okay, so make sure that you write exactly like I do. If it's kind of hard, you can just copy and paste. And because it's a function, and by the way, when I say function, it means that we're giving the computer an instruction. We're asking the computer to do something. In this case, we're asking the computer to install a package for us. So usually functions, in order to use a function, you write the name of the function and then you open a set of parentheses like that. So usually when you see the name of something and then a set of parentheses, it means that you are using a function. Okay. Now inside this parenthesis, this is where you're going to specify the package name that you want to download, or the names of the packages. In other words, it's actually very possible to install several packages at the same time. But since we're using it for the first time, let's just go ahead and install only one package for now. The package that we're going to install right now is called readr. Okay, some people call it reader, or they read it reader, you know, but this is how it is written. And when you write it, you have to put some quotation marks around it. Okay, the quotations. It could be single quotes or double quote. It does not really matter. Okay, but make sure that you put some quotes. So double quote, or single quote. That's what I mean. Read R, R-E-A-D-R. So it's not like reader, like the English name, the English word is read and then R. Okay. So that's the first package that we're going to install. Again, if it's hard for you to keep up, use the link that I provided and follow. Copy and paste from there. All right, so this is code that we've written. And remember, the fact that you've written code doesn't mean that you've executed it. So you need to execute the code now. All right, so let's go ahead and execute it. Remember, you put your pointer on the line, anywhere on the line. It doesn't have to be at the end or the beginning or wherever. You can put it everywhere, and then you press Control Enter. If you're on a Mac, on a Windows, if you're on a Mac, it's going to be Command Enter. So this package is already loaded in my R session, and this is why you see this message, but it shouldn't be the same for you. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and install it anyways, so that I get the same experience as you. Okay, and this is the message that you should be able to see. All right, and in order to know that your package is done installing, okay, make sure that you have your blinking pointer at the bottom here. Okay, and that greater than symbol that we've been seeing, you know, if you see this and your blinking pointer, it means that everything is perfect. The package has been installed. Okay, and there's a second way that we're going to use to verify that the package has actually been installed. Of course, there's no error here. Even though you see the red thing here, it doesn't matter. If you don't see error, then it's fine. Okay, actually this message is saying the package successfully unpacked, so that's good. All right, now there are two more packages, actually three more packages that we want to install. This time around, I am going to teach you how to install several packages at the same time. Okay, now the reason why we installed reader on its own was just because I wanted to teach you how to install one package, but now let's install several packages. So we could have installed reader and the three other packages that we're going to talk about now. We could have installed all of them at the same time. Okay, so let me show it to you. So we're going to use, and by the way, if the package is installed on your computer, will you please let us know in the chat? And if you have a problem or you're seeing some type of error or anything like that, please let us know in the chat as well. Okay, so install the packages, okay, like this. All right. Now, I am going to combine several package names together. Okay, I'm going to combine several package names together. Now, the first package name, actually, I'm going to use another function, actually, and that function is going to allow me to combine these names. And that function is the C function. Now, it's lowercase c, not capital C, lowercase c. So C parenthesis like that. And you can actually view it as combine or concatenate. Okay, so you can see it as combine. So we want to combine several names. The first name is here, like this. We want to install the here package. So you have to put here in double quotes like this. Okay. Then you step outside the quotes, comma, because you want to add another name to it. All right, Romina, good job. Okay. You want to add another name, another package name. So another set of quotations there. Dplyr, D-P-L-Y-R, like this, Dplyr. So that's the second package that we want to install. Okay. And the third package that we want to install is, you need to add a set of quotes there. ggplot2, like this, ggplot2. Okay, so make sure that your code is exactly like mine, okay, or copy from the link that I provided to you earlier. All right, so I'm going to Control Enter just to make sure that it goes through. So you see now it's installing. By the way, take a look. Okay, it was too quick, so I wasn't able to show you. But there was a stop sign that showed up here, and whenever you see the stop sign, it means that R is running. So you can't really do anything while R is running. But when the stop sign disappears and you see the greater than symbol here, it means that everything that you were trying to do is done, and now you can use R again. Okay, so now these 4 packages should be installed on our computer. Okay, now for those of you who haven't replied, I really hope that you were able to install the package as well, or the packages, I should say, as well as Romina. Okay. So let's make sure that our packages are installed. Actually, I am convinced that the packages are installed because we didn't see any error. So I know for a fact that the packages are installed. But just for you to know or to be sure or whatever, okay, one thing that you can do is you can go to the bottom right corner pane of your screen and you can click on the packages tab right here. Okay. And this is the list of all the packages that are currently installed for R on your computer. Actually, when you install R for the first time, it comes with a few packages. Okay, we usually call them the base packages. Okay, but then you can add some extra like we just did. Now, let me go ahead and look for dplyr first. Okay, so I can just go to D, or I can just search, so let me just increase this very quickly. I can just search dplyr like this. And you see dplyr is in my list of packages now. So that's perfect. Okay. All right. So Shen, I see you. And Romina, great job. All right. Next package, the here package. Let me see if it's here. Tautology. Right. So yeah, the here package is here. The third package is ggplot2. Let me check it. Okay. You can see ggplot2 is installed. Okay. And did I try reader? No, not yet. So reader, okay, and you can see reader right here. So the 4 packages are there. So I'm good right now, and I hope you are too. I mean, you just told me in the chat that you're good, so that's perfect. All right, now next, it's really important to know this. Once you install a package, it is installed forever. Okay, once you install a package, it is installed forever. So you don't need to keep installing packages every time you use R. No, once you install them, it's fine. If you want to install them again, that's maybe because you heard that the packages were updated and you want the newer version of the package. And even then, you don't really need to install it again. You can just update it. There's actually a function called update.packages. Just like we had install.packages, you have update.packages that you can use on your packages too if you want to. So the reason why I'm saying this is because this code right here, we are not going to use it anymore throughout the rest of this course. Probably we're not going to use it again. Okay. Oh, actually, dplyr, there's a new version of dplyr coming out in a few months. When it comes out, I'll let you guys know, and then maybe you can run this again if you want. But we're not going to use it again, okay? But for those of you who are very new to R and who don't know basically, what these functions are, like installer packages, let's just keep it in our code even though we don't want to run it. And the best way to do it, if there is code that you want to keep in your script, but that you don't want to run in the future, the best way of having a code like that is to turn it into a comment. Remember we talked about comments last time, like install packages? This is text that R is going to completely disregard. So again, this is code that we don't want to run, so we want to turn it into a comment, right? So I am going to... Okay, so Kinley, you have a typo in the name of the package. It's dplyr. Okay, and I just sent it to you in the chat. You wrote RR, but it's YR instead. DPLYR. Okay, not DPLRR, and that's why you're having the problem. So please try to change it, and it will definitely work. Okay, so guys, the quick way to transform code that you've written into a comment is, of course, you can go to the very beginning here and add some pound symbols, and that's it. You can do it, and then this code has become comment. So even if you try to run it, it's not going to work. Okay, I'm trying it and nothing is really happening, so that's perfectly fine. You're very welcome, Kidney. But there's actually an interesting shortcut that I want to show you, which does exactly the same thing. So you see these two lines of code. Okay, what are the lines that I want to transform? So you can just select the two, and then you press Control-Shift-C. C as in comment. If you're on a Mac, it's going to be Command-Shift-C. Okay, so let me do it for you guys. Control-Shift-C, and everything becomes comment. All right, and if I do it again, it's going to uncomment it. If I do it one more time, it's going to become a comment. Right, so guys, let's just leave it as comments like that. We're not going to use this code ever again. After installing the packages, next let us load these packages now. You can see this as buying the toolboxes. So if you buy a toolbox, if you want to use what is inside, you have to open the toolbox. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open these packages. Okay, in technical terms, you say you're going to load the packages, basically. All right, so let's add a comment for the new section here. Load our packages. Okay, and in order to load a package in R, we will use another function. We'll use the library function, like this. The library function. Now, I am really sorry to disappoint you guys. When we were trying to install several packages at the same time, we were able to use the C function. And then we listed all the names inside C to install everything. But with the library function, it is actually not possible, unfortunately. So you will have to write library and your function as many times as you need to load all your packages. Now, there's another package which allows you to load many packages at the same time, but it's called Pacman. I can show you to you in the future, but for now let's do things the base way. All right, so the first one here is let's do the here package, and maybe if you want to save time, you can copy this. Oh no, that was the link that I sent you. Okay, so here the second package is reader, the third package is dplyr, and then ggplot2. Okay, now this time around, you don't put any quotations around the names. The first time we put quotations because you can see it as, well, we've never installed these packages before, so we don't know what they are. So we just put their names in quotations. But now that they've actually been installed and they are inside our system, we can now refer to them without using the quotations. By the way, even if you use quotations here too, it does not matter. It will still work. Okay, so that's something good to know. It will work. So please go ahead and do that. Okay. So again, if you copy and paste, it's going to save you some time. All right, next, we have these 4 library calls. Okay. So again, the fact that you write code doesn't mean that you've executed it, or doesn't mean that you've asked the computer to run it for you. That's what we're going to do now. So let's do some batch execution, by highlighting everything and then Control Enter. You'll see a bunch of, red things. If you don't see the word error, then you're fine. If you see the word error, then there's a problem. All right, so check very quickly if you don't see error. So after library, it will tell you here starts at this right here. So this is this is the path to my project flight analysis. This is the full path. So the here package is going to tell me, and then reader, dplyr, ggplot2. So for dplyr, I have a bunch of things here, no error, and then ggplot2, nothing too. So it's perfectly fine. For you, because I think it's the first time you're going to load them, you might have some messages show up there. But again, as long as you don't see any error, you're perfectly fine. Okay, so after loading our packages, and one thing too before we move on, I told you that you have to install it only once and it's installed forever. But whenever you shut down our studio and you get back on it, you always have to reload your packages. So I told you, right, loading a package is like opening a toolbox. So whenever you want to do work with the tools inside your toolbox, you need to open your toolbox. And when you shut down our studio, it's like you've closed your toolbox and you've gone to bed. But when you come back the following day to work, you have to open it again. So these here will open the packages. Okay, so Romina has a problem. Oh, okay. So Romina, this is what I would like you to do. I believe that. Okay, so there's a package called RCPP, which the computer is asking you to, or the system is asking you to download, basically. All right. So this is what we're going to do. So Romina, you see how we install the packages here. I would like for you, okay, and if there are other people who have a similar issue, maybe this is what you want to do. Okay, let me just uncomment this. Oh, okay, anyways, let me just add a new line. And let's actually add the reader package that we left out. Let's add it to the full code here. We're going to install all of them at the same time, okay? Now, we are going to add something else to install the packages and try to reinstall it. Okay, so you see the C function that we use to combine all these packages? Okay, so add a comma after the closing parenthesis for the C function. So you add a comma there. Okay, and start typing dependencies. So you see, I just typed yes, no problem. Okay, so try to follow what I'm saying now, no problem. So you start typing DEPE for dependencies and it will show up here. So you can just click on it, and when you do, okay, write in quotation depends, like that. Okay, depends. And then try to run it after doing that. Now, let me try to explain the problem that Romina has. So the issue that she is having is simply that, you see, in R, we stand on the shoulders of giants. In other words, what people have developed already, we just use it and then we add things on top of it to do other things. Okay, so this is really the wonderful thing about R. So when you install a package, that package has some dependencies for the most part. In other words, this package depends on other packages. Now, usually when you just install a package with installer packages, it should install the strict minimum dependencies. Okay, there are other dependencies that are not necessarily important, so it just leaves them out, but it still installs the strict dependencies. But in her case, for some reason, that strict dependency RCPP, which is the name of the package here, was not installed. So please add dependencies depends, and then it will make sure to install all the dependencies at the same time. And when it does, you should not have any problem after that. Now, in my case, I'm having, some sort of issue here because I already have all these things, so it's not going to do it. Like, it's trying to kind of overwrite what is already on my computer. But if it's not working for me here, it's not a problem. I already have them installed anyways. So please do this right here. And after installing these, go ahead and run the library functions again, okay, to see if it works. All right, so Romina, please let me know in the chat if you are able to do that while I try to explain what is coming ahead. Okay, so we open our packages here. Next, which is really one of the top codes that you write in any project, the first thing that you do is you load your packages always. Now that you have your packages in place, what you want to do is to import your data. Okay, you want to import your data. All right, and that's what we're going to do now. So let's add a comment. Import data. Okay, import data. So we know, right, that our data is inside a folder, but we want to load it inside our workspace in R so that we can do some sort of manipulation on it. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn right now. But yeah, how could I have forgotten this? Actually, we installed these 4 packages and I haven't even told you why these packages are important or how we're going to use them, right? So this is what I need to do right now. Okay, the here package, I think we're going to demonstrate what it does right now when we import the data. Okay, so let me leave it for now. But for the reader package, the reader package contains functions to read in or import a lot of data formats. So the CSV files that I sent you. Okay, Romina, can you please post your error in the chat so that I see what it says this time? Okay, so the reader package again is it has a lot of functions for importing data into R, right? So we're going to use one of these functions to import the CSV files that I sent you. Okay, so let's add a comment so that we remember next time for importing data. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now the dplyr package is a very powerful package for data manipulation. So we're going to manipulate data a lot. Okay, and the dplyr package will help you manipulate the data. Okay, so for manipulating data. Okay, now ggplot2, I believe that you actually have a suspicion that this, because of the word plot in it, it's a very powerful data visualization package. So we will use the data visualization package. Okay, ggplot2. So right here for data visualization. Okay, Romina, I just saw your message. So what you should do, Romina, is just try to install the Our Cpp package. All right, so you're going to do it with install the packages Our Cpp. So the first R is an uppercase R, then C, lowercase p, and P. Okay, so go ahead and install this package, and after installing it, install you said you still you get the same error for dplyr and reader. Okay, so install Our Cpp and then install these 2 packages only. All right, so let me just add this right here. I made it into a comment because I am not going to use it, but let me leave it like that. So okay, maybe I should have actually used the same installer packages for all 3, but the 2 packages you're having issues with are reader and you said dplyr. Okay, so you start with Our Cpp first, and then after doing that, you install the packages like that. So you run this code basically. And after running it, please go ahead and try to load the packages again. And guys, this is really the essence of doing live coding. I am here for you. So if you have any issue, if you have any problem, maybe you're not able to, do something, okay, or maybe you're having an issue, whatnot. Please let me know and then I'll try to troubleshoot your problem for you. Or maybe if we cannot do it live, we can call each other maybe on Zoom or on Skype after the session, and then I can help you more privately to fix your error. Okay, so we've got reader, dplyr, and ggplot2 right here, and then the here package. Okay, now what we're going to do now is we are going to import the data now. We're going to import the data. Okay, so remember where our data is. Okay, our data is located right here. If you go to files, okay, you will see data, right? That's where, this is the root folder for our package, our project. This is the home. So inside the home we have data. Then inside data we have raw. So this is where our data is. And what we want to do is we want to import all these 5 files. Okay, there are ways to import all the files at the same time, but we will try and learn to import them one at a time. Okay, and once we do that, this is actually going to kind of help us for the future. So inside the reader package, if you are able to load the reader package successfully, you should now have access to the read_CSV function like this. Now be very careful, guys. This is not read.csv, it is read_CSV. Read.csv is a base R function. In other words, when you get R, it's a function that you have access to, and it does pretty much the same thing, but the read_CSV has some added features which I will explain to you when we talk about data classes. Okay, so now what you need to do inside read_CSV is you need to tell R exactly where the file that you're trying to read, the CSV file that you're trying to read, is located. Okay, now because we are inside a project, our session here thinks that this is where everything starts. And when we loaded the here package, remember what it says? It said, okay, this is where it starts, which is our project, right? So you will just need to write the path of the file starting from flights analysis. Okay. Now of course you can try, if you remember exactly where it is, you can type it up, but you don't have to do it really, because our studio is going to help you out. So read_CSV, okay, and inside you can go ahead and type the double quotes and specify exactly where the file is. Now instead of typing, what you need to do is when you add the double quotes here, you put your pointer inside the double quote, okay, and then you press the tab button. But of course, what you're going to see right now, for it to work, your pointer needs to be in the middle of the double quote right here. So when I press tab, you see this window here shows up, and it shows me where all the files inside my project are located. Okay, so the next folder here is data, so I can click on data and it's going to write data for me. But we're not done. Remember, inside data there's raw, and inside raw we can now have access to the files. So you can press enter again exactly where it is. Sorry, not enter, tab. So now we have prepped and raw. So I can click on raw, it's going to write it for me. Now inside raw, that's where I find my data. So I'm going to press tab once again, and I have all these data sets here. Now let's start with the flights.csv file like this. Okay, so now my data, the path for my data has been completely written inside read_CSV. And this is actually what I need in order to import the data. Read_CSV parentheses, and then I can write exactly, the location for my data file. And Romina, will you please tell me whether it works now for you? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to press Control Enter. Okay, I'm going to press Control Enter, and you'll see what will happen in my console. All right, lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, the data flights.csv that was outside my R session through this line of code was now imported. So now I can see the first column, the second column. If you open that same file with Excel or something like that, you'll be able to see exactly this. You'll be able to see that's the data. And there are a few more columns that we cannot see right now, But don't worry about it for now. I'll show you a few more things when we meet next time. But this is it for the first file. Okay. Now, even though this works, there's actually a new package that was developed not too long ago, and that's the Here package. Okay. It will be very difficult for me now to explain to you why this package is really helpful, but I am going to tell you more about it when we talk about what you call it, reporting. Okay, when we talk about reporting, that's when I'm going to let you know about it. Okay, so here is the name of the package, but inside the Here package, there's another function called Here too. Okay, so it's the name of the package, but it's also the name of the function inside the package. So what I want you guys to do is to wrap. Okay. Okay, so Romina just got it. I get a following error: invalid active developer path. Library compilation failed. RCP removing. When install packages, RCP had non-zero. Okay. Romina, okay, so don't worry about it. Please, I would love for you to follow, okay, what we're doing. And if you are willing, let's talk on Zoom, okay, right after this, and then I'll try to troubleshoot your problem. And if you are here, following me right now, please also let me know. We can talk on Zoom right after this, and then I will troubleshoot your problem. You will be able to share your screen with me, and I'll be able to listen to you. And I think it's going to be faster because there's some sort of lag between when you send a message and when I see it on Twitch. Okay, but if we do it on Zoom, I'll be able to fix your problem for you. No problem at all. Okay, so as I said, what I would love for you guys to do. 3% CCP, try downloading from GitHub. Okay, Romina, don't worry. We'll fix your problem. Don't worry about it. We'll fix your problem. Okay. So back again. I would like for you guys to wrap the path of the file with here. So now you see we had read_CSV, then the path. But now I would like you to put here open parenthesis before the path, and then add another parenthesis after the path. Okay, and if you do that, we're going to get the same. Okay, great, Romina. We're going to get the same result. Let me execute it again. Okay, we're going to get exactly the same result. But guys, believe me, you want to use the Here package again for reasons that I can't really explain right now. I will, especially when we start talking about R Markdown. Okay, and it's not limited to that. There are other benefits of using it, but don't worry, you will discover over time. Okay, now next, let's download or let's import. I want to say another file. So there's another file called airports. So let's just import it. So we just do the same thing. Read_CSV. We open the parenthesis. And then the Here package, okay, the Here function, I'm sorry, and we open the parenthesis, and inside here, we open quotations, and when we are inside the quotations, we press Tab. Now, this time, we're not going to do it one step at a time like we did. You know, we clicked on data, then we came back to it, we clicked on on raw, sorry, and then we clicked on the file. We're not going to do it this way. This time around, we're going to look for the file because all the files in the project are here. So you can just look for the file and then click on it. So I said airports. There it is. When you click on it, the entire path is written for you, which is wonderful. So let me go ahead and, you see, for the flights data, I have year, month, day. These are the first few columns. But then for the airports data, you see FAA, name of the airport, latitude, longitude. Guys, this is really good news, okay? Because at some point, we're going to use this data to do some mapping. We're going to create interactive maps in R, and we're going to use this data right here to locate these different airports in the United States, okay? So please stick with us, you know, and then we'll get to that for sure. All right, so this is how we created the, we imported the second data set. All right, guys. So I had a few other things that I wanted us to talk about, but I do not want these live streams to be too long. Uh, like 1 hour and 15 minutes, I think is an okay time for going over these things. And guys, believe me, I'm trying to go as slowly as possible. But again, if you feel that I go too fast, please use the chat and let me know. But I have some sort of homework for you. The homework is we have 3 other files in our raw folder, and I would like for you in your own time to add the code to import these other files there. So the files are, we can see them here very quickly. Airlines, so do it for airlines, planes, and weather. So just import the data, and then it's going to show up in your console, and just take a quick look at it just to see what it is. But we'll talk more about the data sets themselves when we meet next time. Okay, now the last thing that we're going to do now is to save our work. Okay. Oh, by the way, this is the code that I wrote for helping Romina, so I'm going to comment it out because we're not going to run it again. So you want to save it. So previously I had this little star here. When you see a star on your script name, it means that it means that the file has some work in it that you have not saved. Okay, so what you want to do is to save it by clicking on this floppy disk. Once you do, okay, when there's no star, it means that everything is perfect, everything is saved now. Okay. All right, so after saving your file, you want to close your project. Now remember what I showed you last time. When you try to close your project, RStudio is going to ask you, do you want to save your workspace? Okay. In your case, we haven't really saved any data or something like that. So I don't think that it's even going to ask you this time. But if it asks you, do you want to save your workspace? Always say no. And I gave you the reasons last time. I told you that your code is always changing. So you don't want the old results to show up. So if you change your code, you want the result from that code now to be what you carry on for what you're doing in your project. You don't want the old results to always be loaded every single time. That's not good practice. So if it asks you, and again, for me, it's not going to ask me because of some settings that I put there, which I'm going to show you at some point. But now, guys, you see I have closed my project. Now, if you check my files, this is not pointing to my project folder anymore, where I had data, where I had, reports and stuff like that. Now, this is my documents, basically. All right. So, indeed, we are outside the project at this time. All right, people. So this is really what I had for you. Again, I had a list of 4 things. I wanted to teach you guys how to create a variable and then do some basic explorations. But it's fine, guys. Anyways, we're going to meet twice a week, so we're going to cover these things anyways. For people who are a little more advanced, I guess they will feel that they're not learning a lot now, because I'm really, in my mind, I'm actually, telling myself that I'm speaking to complete beginners, so I'm really taking my time to go over things for you, But at some point, when we get to a certain level of proficiency, I'm going to start speeding things up a little bit. But for now, guys, let's really get the basics right, and it's really going to help us a lot in the future. All right, now, guys, do you have any questions? I'm looking at the chat right now. Do you have any question at all? Anything that, maybe you did not quite understand? Things that you did not quite get and you would like for me to go over it very quickly or something? Anything at all that you feel that, you want to know? And Romina, again, if you are willing, we can speak on Zoom right after this. Or if you want to speak on Zoom some other time, because maybe you are busy after this or something, just let me know. That's perfectly fine. We can private chat on Slack about it. So that's perfectly fine. We can do that. All right, guys, I'm waiting. I know there's this lag, so whatever I say, you hear it like maybe 15 seconds later or less or more, depending on your connection. But I'm going to wait a little bit to see if maybe you guys have some questions, and then that'll be it for today. But essentially, while you guys are writing things, what we did today is we learned how to install packages. Okay, and we're going to do that a lot. I'm going to show you some new interesting packages. We learned how to install packages. We learned how to load packages into our R session. Okay, which is very important. And you have to load packages every single time. Okay, it suddenly became very dark. I think the sun is, setting right now. So that's number 2. And number 3, we learned how to import CSV files using the read_CSV function, which is inside the reader package. Okay, so these are the 3 things that we really learned today. All right, so still no question. I'm not seeing any question in the chat. Well, okay. And no, Shen, the Haven package, maybe what you wanted to ask is the Haven package the same as the reader package? Because Haven has some very good functions for importing data as well. Now, both packages were developed by the same person. His name is Hadley Wickham. But Haven has some functions for more exotic data formats. What I mean by exotic is the Haven package has, okay, you know what? I have Haven installed here. Let me show you. So you see the DTA, yes, that's what I figured. That is it the same as reader? DTA package is the format for, I think, Stata data, right? DTA is for Stata files. POR, I'm really not sure. I'm not going to lie to you. SAS, I don't know if you know the very popular data analytics suite called SAS, but if you have SAS data, read_SAS is going to help you. Some SAV file, SPSS. SPSS is the first data analytics tool that I used. And then you have some .stata data as well. You have here, and then XPT. I'm not even sure what XPT is. Apparently it's a SAS transport format. Okay, fine. So Haven is really for, data types that are really out there. Reader is for more traditional data set, like CSV, for example. We haven't really talked about it a lot, but CSV files are very popular online. You will see some text files or some, for reader, it will allow you to download some text file and a few other types of files like that are more traditional. Shenwan, I hope I answered your question. But yeah, guys, I believe that I have no more question. So, well, I wish you guys all the best. As I told you, the stream schedule now is going to be Tuesdays and Saturdays. Now, I'm thinking about maybe changing it to Tuesdays and Fridays, at 2 p.m. Tuesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. So, guys, I am going to let you know on Slack, what the next stream is going to be. But, guys, please, right now, put on your calendar Friday at 2 p.m. instead of Saturday. Or maybe Saturday. Okay, I'm not sure. You know what? Let's do Saturday. Let's do Saturday for now. But if anything changes, I will make sure to let you know. Okay, so guys, you take care. And I was really pleased to share all these things with you today. Hopefully you join next time. I am going to work on the recording right now. These parts where I was silent for a long time, I'm going to cut them out and then post them on YouTube. And if you want to watch it again, or if you want to okay, so Kinley, no problem. So Romina, I'm going to speak to Romina and to Kinley on Zoom right now. So you guys check your Slack. I'm going to send you the link for Zoom in a second, and then we can actually get online together, and then I can take care of you guys. Romina was the first one to ask, so she's going to start, and then Kinley, you'll be second. No problem. So we can do it. All right, guys. I wish you all the best. God bless, and take care. I'll see you next time on Saturday. For now, bye.